What do you do when you've trained for years and the big moment still hasn't shown up? You've put in the work, you've made sacrifices, you've stayed committed, and yet the result you're chasing, well, it hasn't come yet. Because mentally, it is one of the hardest places to live, right? Not failing necessarily, waiting, staying ready for what you truly want, staying ready for it to arrive. And this is where many talented athletes lose confidence, not because they aren't capable, but because they don't know how to trust timing. Which brings us to a misunderstood and very powerful Olympic story. And if we haven't yet met, I'm Dr. Haley Perlus. I'm a sports psychology coach helping us all maximize our inner strength to fuel next level performance. And before we move on to today's mental toughness moment, I have some freebies for you, and it's all linked up in the descriptions below. Stephen Bradbury's story is often told in one sentence. Everyone else fell, and he won. But that version misses almost everything that actually matters, because Stephen Bradbury's gold medal was not a fluke. It was the result of 20 years of work, a deep love for his sport, and being ready for when life opened a door. And if you've ever felt like your moment hasn't come yet, this story is for you. Stephen Bradbury grew up in Brisbane, Australia. Not exactly ideal for winter sports. He started skating at 8 years old, not because there was a big system supporting him, but because he developed a genuine passion for speed skating. He didn't care that there were limited facilities. He didn't care that the budget was small. He didn't care that there weren't any really, bells and whistles around him. He just wanted to be the best in the world. And so he gave everything he had, every day, with what was available to him. And that matters because mental toughness often begins long before anyone is watching. In 1994, Stephen Bradbury was part of an Australian relay team that won bronze at the Winter Olympics. That medal was historic. It was Australia's first ever Winter Olympic medal. And in many ways, it was a Roger Bannister moment. Before Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, people thought it wasn't possible. After he did it, others followed. Bradbury's 1994 bronze did the same thing. After that moment, Australia began winning medals at Winter Olympics. So the barrier had been broken. Possibility expanded. And Stephen Bradbury was part of that shift. But his journey didn't suddenly get easier. The years that followed were filled with a lot of hard work and a lot of injuries. He competed in multiple Olympic Games. He was also involved in devastating crashes. In one of them, he nearly lost his life. Doctors stitched his leg more than 100 times, and he still came back. Not because it was comfortable, not because anything success-wise was guaranteed, but because this was what he loved, speed skating. By the time the 2002 Winter Olympics had arrived, Stephen was 28 years old. He had been skating for 2 decades, 20 years of early mornings, training without really a big system, training with not glamour, without the glamour, bells and whistles, training without certainty. And he still showed up. That's not luck. That's commitment. In Salt Lake City, Bradbury made it into the quarterfinals and finished second. Now that alone was impressive. And then in the semifinals, something important happened mentally. Stephen has said that he was genuinely satisfied. Not because he had a medal yet, but because for the first time in his Olympic experience, he felt he had skied his best, and that really mattered to him. And then came the final race, the race that everyone remembers. Yes, there was chaos. Yes, others fell. And yes, luck played a role. But here's the part that often gets ignored. Stephen Bradbury had to earn his place in that final race. He had to survive the rounds before it. He had to be fit enough, sharp enough, mentally steady enough to still be there. Opportunity doesn't matter if you're not in position to receive it. There's a saying that luck is what happens when opportunity meets preparation. Stephen Bradbury embodied that. Was there luck? Yes. But there was also 20 years of preparation that put him on that starting line. Luck didn't hand him that race. It met him there. Today, there's a phrase in sports, doing a Bradbury. Some people say it dismissively, but Stephen Bradbury himself, he says it's a good thing. Because to do a Bradbury means you were ready to take advantage of opportunity. You stayed in the game long enough. You didn't quit when things were hard. You didn't walk away when recognition was delayed. You were prepared when life opened a door. Now that's not weakness, that's mental toughness. I have a similar experience in my own ski racing career. A long time ago, I once won a major slalom race, not by a small margin, by 4 seconds combined, which in ski racing, in slalom, is unheard of. And here's the truth. I didn't win because I was dramatically better than every other racer that day. I won because many of my strongest competitors, they didn't finish the race. They crashed, they made mistakes, they were taken out by the conditions. And I stayed in it. I was resilient in that moment, and I accept that win proudly. Because resilience counts. Staying upright counts. Being ready when things unravel counts. Life happens. Sport happens. Luck is part of the equation, whether we like it or not. But luck doesn't reward those who quit early. It rewards those who keep showing up. Those who prepare without guarantees. Those who love the process enough to stay in position when opportunity appears. Stephen Bradbury didn't win because he was handed something. He won because he worked his heart out to be in that position. He didn't control chaos. He controlled his readiness. And when life offered him a moment, he was there to receive it. If you're in a phase right now where your work hasn't been rewarded yet, where your moment feels delayed, where it seems like others are moving ahead faster, this story matters because your job isn't to force timing. You can't. Your job is to be ready for when timing arrives. Mental toughness isn't just about pushing harder. It's about staying in it and being patient, staying resilient, staying prepared, so that when opportunity shows up, you're still standing. Stephen Bradbury's gold medal wasn't just a miracle. It was a lifetime of preparation, meaning one extraordinary moment. And that's a lesson worth remembering. So, what do we do? What can we take from this? Because Stephen Bradbury's story isn't about waiting passively. It's about staying ready actively. Here are 3 tools you can use if you're in a phase where your moment hasn't arrived yet. First, the readiness question. Ask yourself regularly, if opportunity showed up today, tomorrow, would I actually be ready? Not emotionally burned out, not resentful, not doubting myself, truly ready. This keeps you focused on preparation instead of comparison. Second, the stay in it rule. When things aren't going your way, your job isn't to force brilliance. Your job is to stay functional, calm body, clear decisions, simple execution. You don't need a breakthrough every single day. You just need to stay upright long enough for opportunity to appear. Third, the luck reframe. Instead of saying, that was just luck, say this. Luck is what happens when opportunity meets preparation. This shifts your mindset from bitterness to responsibility. You don't control timing, know that, but you do control readiness, know that. And here's the big takeaway. Stephen Bradbury didn't win because he waited around. He won because he worked relentlessly so that when life opened that door, he was there to walk through it. That's not passive, that's powerful. You don't need to know exactly when your moment will come. You just need to make sure you're ready for when it does. If you want more mental toughness moments, stories that turn Olympic history into tools you can use, make sure to subscribe and join me next week. And I'd appreciate a like too. Because the best performers don't wait for luck, they prepare for it.